Several years ago, I was alone in the break room when a violent patient burst in and blocked the only exit. He'd forced his way through two magnetically sealed doors to get there. The break room is a long, narrow place, and he was standing between me and the only exit. He stepped towards me and shouted, "Are you scared now?" He kept repeating that. "Are you scared now?" I was scared. I'm not a particularly physical person, and this guy was quite a massive dude. He took another step towards me and I backed up, but I was against the wall already and there was nowhere for me to go. He grabbed a keyboard from the desk and smashed it against the wall. I remember the adrenaline dump that sort of hit my system when I realised I couldn't get out and I was probably about to be beaten up by this man. But a few moments later, security arrived and they restrained him and they led him back to the department. And I finished my sandwich somewhat shakily and went back to work. I looked up his notes and saw that he'd been in A&E for 10 days. Now bear in mind that in the UK we still have a 4-hour target for getting patients out of A&E, 4 hours from the time they presented. So why had this chap been sitting here for 10 days? Well, he'd needed a psychiatric admission. Someone had decided that he was too unwell to go home by himself, and he was waiting for a bed in a mental health hospital. Waiting and waiting and waiting. And unfortunately, that is far from a rare occurrence in UK hospitals at the moment. People can spend days or sometimes even weeks waiting for a mental health bed. In A&E, with bright lights and alarms and noise and shouting and strangers, and they're often confined to tiny so-called quiet rooms which don't have any windows and in which cameras are kind of watching them all the time. And I have to stress that the vast majority of people in this situation are not violent at all, but these conditions can make someone who is already mentally unwell much, much, much worse. When I think back to this incident, it isn't the fear that sticks in my mind, because I was frightened for a few moments, but this man was trapped in a frightening situation for far longer. I think that future doctors will look back on this time and say, did we really do that? Did we really keep people waiting in emergency departments for so long because there was nowhere else for them to go? And they'll be ashamed of that.